Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Vetiva Breakfast Meeting brought to you by Vetiva Capital Management in partnership with Frontier Africa Reports. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of September, and in our meeting, we'll be hearing from the global equity desk, the fixed income trader, and from our partners at Frontier Africa Reports. Before we hear from our speakers, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and may be shared with third parties, and is also being broadcast on our Vetiva online page on Facebook. After our presenters have spoken, we'll take questions if time permits. However, if we're able to answer all of the questions we have, please feel free to email us at research@vetiva.com. So we'll start with a rundown of the international stock markets from our global equity desk, brought to you by Symbiat. Good morning, Symbiat.
Good morning, Joshua, and good morning to everyone. Like I mentioned, I'll be doing a quick rundown of yesterday's performance of some markets across West Africa. Starting in BRVM, investors took profit after the market had seen 4 straight sessions of uptrend. The composite index closed down 11 basis points yesterday to start the month of September. This was due to loss recorded in high cap names, as we saw the BRVM 10 index shed 0.4%. Leading the losers chart, we had severe Abidjan with a 7.5% price appreciation. The stock has traded mixed over the last couple of sessions with a net loss of 7.17% in the last 1 week. Aside the negative close, market activity traded down and market breadth turned negative. Going into today, we expect market to recover from the quiet session yesterday with the possibility of closing down as profit-taking activity is likely to continue. In Ghana, a bit of deja vu experience in the Ghana Stock Exchange yesterday, closing the session slightly positive, with fan milk still being the sole gain in the markets, like we saw on Tuesday. This time, composite index advanced by just 2 basis points on back of a 3.13% gain in fan milk. We still have familiar names dominating market activity, Unilever, MTN Ghana, and Cowbank. But it appears that investors are on the sideline as we've seen a continuous decline in activity level. Going into today, we expect markets to trade in similar pattern with names like Cowbank and MTN topping activity charts. Over in Nigeria, we saw the market start the week bearish and has maintained this course. All share index closed down by 9 basis points yesterday on the back of sell-offs across sectors. And the sector that got the hardest hit was the consumer goods space, shedding 62 basis points yesterday, and the week-to-date loss now at 1.41%. This sector saw a bit of price reversal in honey flour and FTN cocoa. As we are all aware, honey flour has been rallying for a couple of weeks now, setting new year high prices, and in the last 1 week of trading, the counter has returned 27.3%. So for the first time since August 10th, when the price was at 1 naira 66 kobo, the stock closed down by 4.21% yesterday. So 4 naira 10 kobo, that is about 147% price appreciation. And also FTN cocoa saw a bit of price reversal after enjoying 5 straight sessions of uptrend. Still in the consumer goods space, we saw a bit of profit-taking activity in Dangote Sugar, Nigerian Breweries, and UACN. Moving on to activity level, market activity declined significantly with volume trading down by about 60%, while turnover fell by about 27%. Going into today, like I mentioned yesterday, the market hasn't seen much by way of positive catalyst to spur activity, hence the sentiment we're currently seeing. And that's some investors staying sidelines and also seeing a stronger sell side interest. Having said that, we expect investors to start looking out for fundamentally sound names with lower entry price. Thank you, and that'll be all from my end.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Next, we'll hear from Omarege on the fixed income and currency markets. Good morning, Omarege.
Good morning, everybody. System liquidity improved significantly yesterday to open at 432.6 billion positive, coming from the 234 billion positive that was recorded on Tuesday. Consequently, interbank rate declined by an average of 150 basis points, as OBB and overnight rate closed at 4% and 5% respectively. We expect interbank rate to trade at similar levels today, barring any significant change to system liquidity. The parallel market lost to Naira yesterday to close at 528 Naira to $1, while the earning window opened at 411.58 Naira to $1. The highest trade that was recorded yesterday was 413 Naira to $1, while the closing rate was 411.5 Naira to $1. Brent lost about 4 cents, while WTI gained about 9 cents to open today at 71.59 and $68.59 per barrel respectively. The T-bills market continued to trade on a very active note yesterday, with activities seen on the newly issued special NTB, that's the 29th November 2021, and the newly issued one-year paper, the 25th August 2022 maturity. Trades were majorly consummated on those maturities, and also the especially on the January, February, and the March papers. Few trades were, however, recorded with average benchmark rate remaining unchanged at 5.96%. The bonds market opened the month to a very lukewarm trading session with weak demand seen across the benchmark curve. The maturities that enjoyed the most action yesterday were the 2028, 2036, and the 2049 papers, while trades were majorly consummated on the 2029 and the 2034 maturities. Overall, average benchmark rate declined by about 9 basis points to close yesterday at 11.63%. The Eurobond market continued to trade on a very active note, as we saw buy-side interest across the sovereigns, most especially on the long-dated sovereigns. Offers on the 2049 maturity continue to hover around 7.84%. However, the corporate space traded on a very muted note yesterday. For today, we believe that the current sentiment in the bonds market will persist as players continue to cherry pick attractive offers across the benchmark curve, while we expect the T-bills market to trade in a muted note if the CBN decides to conduct an OMO auction today. Regardless, we expect the T-bills market to be supported by the level of system liquidity today. That will be all for fixed income. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Omarege. Next, we'll be hearing from our partners at Frontier Africa Reports. Justina will be giving us a breakdown. Good morning, Justina.
Good morning, everyone. We start here from the East African region, where Bank of Kigali has reported an after-tax profit of 22.7 billion Rwandan franc in the first half of 2021. And that's an increase of 41.5% from the same period last year, while its net interest income grew 29.9% in the same period. In Ethiopia, National Bank of Ethiopia has doubled the reserve requirements for commercial banks to 10%. The latest move is to reduce money circulations in the market and curb the growing inflation pressure, which hit 26.4% in July. Also, I&M Bank has reported a 29% rise in profits after tax to 4.4 billion Kenyan shillings in the first half of 2021. Because of the reason for this growth is because of the expansion in Uganda through the acquisition of Orient Bank. The bank expanded its balance sheet by 23 billion Kenyan shillings. Meanwhile, also in Uganda, consumer price index, which is the gauge for inflation, decreased by decreased to 1.9% in August, down from 2.1% in July. And that's according to the Statistics Office. Now, in the Southern African region, South Africa's manufacturing PMI grew to 57.9 points in August, after recording a steep decline of 43.5 points in July. This shows a substantial recovery following these July riots and the recent lockdown restrictions. South Africa's listed building materials retailer Cash Builds says revenue for the first 6 weeks declined by 10% as a result of the July unrest. However, the group increased its full year revenue by 25% to 12.6 billion rands, and also declared a whopping final dividend of 22.11 rand. Also in Zambia, the central bank MPC held the benchmark interest rate unchanged at 8.5%. And this is supported by a slowdown in inflation, which is expected to be sustained on the back of a strong kwacha. Another reason for this sharp drop is the yields on the kwacha bond dropped almost 8% to 25%. We look at the Northern African region, where the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development has appointed Antion Saleh Douchachau as the new head of its operations in Morocco. And over in Tunisia, the EBRD also appointed Nodira Mansourova to head operations of the Bank of Tunisia. She takes over from Antonio, who is now the head of operations in Morocco. Egypt also reported its external debt hit $134.8 billion in the third quarter of the full year of 2020 and 2021. That's an increase of $11.3 billion. The government accounts mostly for this debt of 59.7% of the total trade. In West Africa, we have yesterday in Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated a 9-member board of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. He charged the new NSIA board to make more investments that support economic diversification. Yesterday also, late yesterday, Access Bank released its interim financial statement for the period ended June 30th, 2021. The group grew its profit by 42% to 86.94 billion naira. Its net interest income grew by 56%. Earnings per share was 2.48 kobo, 2 naira 48 kobo, from 1 naira 73 kobo. And it also proposed a dividend of 30 kobo per share. An interesting one that came in yesterday was that Italian energy group Eni said it had made a giant oil recovery in offshore Ivory Coast, which could hold as much as 2 billion barrels of oil. And that's all from us here in Frontier Africa Reports. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Christina. We've now come to the Q&A portion of the meeting. If you have a question and you would like to speak, you can raise your hand and you'll be allowed to ask a question. Or if you prefer, you can leave a message in the Q&A or the chat box and we will answer your question. If you are joining us from Facebook, you can also leave a question in the comment section and we will get to your question. Also, while we wait, I would like to remind everyone that tomorrow we are having a special guest speaker, Deji Adebuse, the principal at Sahel Capital, who will be speaking to us on food security and meeting the demand of 200 million people. So that will happen tomorrow at 8:30 on our platform. All right, it appears that we have no questions today. It means we've reached the end of our meeting. Thank you very much for joining us. Do join us again tomorrow for our special edition. We hope that you have a good day. Thank you very much. Good morning.